Suffolk Pod Show is produced and managed by podtalk.co.uk. I'm Mark Mason.
And I'm Susanna Hornby.
Episode 26. Susanna talks to 6 great guests who tell us about their inspiring journeys to building successful businesses in Suffolk. All of our guests have been nominated to appear on this show, so thank you to them and enjoy this episode.
Introducing Georgina from Georgina Little Photography, also known as Suffolk Brand Photographer. And here she is, Georgina. Hello.
Hi, Susanna.
Hello, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. Really looking forward to talking to you because I just love your story of how you started getting into your profession. Do you want to just dive straight in?
Yeah, brilliant. First of all, thanks very much for having me. So photography, yes. So I've always loved photography, but kind of fell into it professionally by accident. So I left UK in 2011, 5 days after getting married. We moved to Kenya. So left a 1-bedroom flat in Battersea to kind of, it was supposed to be a 2-year adventure. My husband got some work out there and we thought, why not? Let's go for it. We've got no kids. Let's go for it. So we moved out there. I left my job in London. I was working in TV at the time. And then we started, we thought, right, we'll start a family. Might as well in Kenya. It's nice weather. It's quite an interesting place to bring up children. Mm-hmm. And so when we started having children, I basically was wanting to take better pictures. So I've always loved photography, but never really learned about how to do it properly. Working in TV, you've got an idea of lighting and you've got this sort of background knowledge. Yeah. Didn't know how to use my camera properly. So I had an entry-level DSLR. And I'd been taking pictures of wildlife when we gone on safari and was sort of editing and I had a lot of spare time. You know, I wasn't working at that point. So we had the first child and I thought, right, I really want to take a decent picture. So I thought, right, I'm going to learn how to use this camera properly. And so I just practiced a lot. There's a lot of pictures of our firstborn. And then obviously met friends with children and I was practicing on their kids too and their kids too. And basically people started asking me to take pictures of their kids and they wanted to pay me. So suddenly this little business started in between me having children, went on to have another 2. So I've got 3 kids. And it just kind of happened organically. I did some personal branding shoots while I was in Kenya as well. Sort of really lovely businesses out there, Pilates businesses, yoga businesses. It was an organising business as well that I did photography for. Anyway, we moved back in 2018, 3 children and 2 dogs later, back to the lovely Suffolk countryside. And I predominantly kept up with the sort of family photography. Yeah. And then in the first lockdown, obviously things stopped. Yeah. So I was kind of like, well, what do I do now? I can keep on marketing. I can keep on kind of doing things online and learning more and doing online courses and all that kind of thing. But I thought, what do I really, what am I enjoying the most when I'm photographing people? And one of the big things is having 3 children. A lot of my work was at the weekends. So it was taking time out of the family. And I was thinking, this isn't really working. You know, I've got 3 children. At the weekends, I'm now shooting other people's families and not finding the time with the family balance life very well. So I kind of looked during the first lockdown, and I'm going to use that word. I'm sure lots of people use it. It's that pivot. I think of Friends. You know that Friends episode when Ross is going pivot. Anyway, so I pivoted, and I started looking at personal branding, and I thought, I really actually enjoy this. There's so many amazing businesses locally, and a lot of people were suddenly looking at their own lives, furlough, redundancies, and a lot of people were suddenly creating their own new businesses. I thought this is the perfect time to sort of, work with like-minded creative businesses, small businesses, small business owners, and really help them with high-end imagery, help them to show up online. So I started a new Instagram page. So I've got 2 Instagram pages. I've got my family photography, which is under Georgina Little Photography. And then I've got my second Instagram page, which is Suffolk Brand Photographer. I kept it quite simple. I thought I really want to, be known locally as kind of the personal brand photographer to go to. Yeah. So during that lockdown, I looked at how I could really help businesses with planning a personal brand photo shoot, because it's not about just turning up on the day and just going, right, what are we going to photograph? No. It's really knowing a brand inside out, understanding what they want, where they're going to use the images, how they need help. So they might already have some images, but it's not showing them for who they are. It's not really showing the story behind their brands, because people now, they want to see the face behind a brand and business. They want to know who it is they're buying from, who is doing the service that they're buying. Basic marketing of knowing, liking and trusting. It's so important. When you get to know someone, you get to like them, you get to trust them, it's more likely they're going to buy from you. So having high-end imagery that shows your story behind your brand, it might be, what your interests are, what you enjoy, what you love, so you can connect with that ideal client. Because people, when we're building a brand and business, not everybody is our client, especially if it's a service. You need to be connecting with the client that you want to connect with. To get that business in. So with proper imagery that's planned out, that we know how to sort of get that shoot plan together, which is what I really work on with a brand before we go into even the shoot day. It's this sort of whole service before I go in, so that we do the shoot day and it's all very planned out, so we can have a shot list that is absolutely specific to what they need and nothing is missed. I'm really clear on, and when they don't end their shoot thinking, oh, I wish I'd have got that shot, or oh no, I didn't get the banner image for my website. It's all of those key images. It's all planned out beforehand.
Planning is the absolute key, as you say. I mean, we do an awful lot of that. Otherwise, you just don't get what you need from that moment when you're there. It's almost it's impossible. It's the last part of the puzzle when you're actually there, isn't it?
Absolutely. The actual service, that photo shoot that's the last part. But as my father has always said to me and still says to me now, even though I'm 43 years old, he's like, work your plan your work. And I'm like, oh yes, I know, Father, but it's so true. If you don't plan, there's just no way that you get it. Bless him. He'll be very happy I've quoted him.
Good. And the other thing that you mentioned there, which I think we all think is really important here, is knowing that person too, who you're shooting, knowing them, but knowing them well enough to understand their personality, so you can bring their personality out in their brand.
It's huge. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever met anyone that says, oh, I can't wait to go and have a camera pointed at me all day long and have photographs taken of me. None of us would kind of jump at the chance to have that done, unless you're a model, and that's it's I haven't got any client that really enjoys it, and most of us just go, oh, good Lord, what am I going to look like on camera? And that is one of the key things, is that because I get to know you when we start the shoot, it's kind of like shooting with a friend. Then it's giggles. I get all the in-between moments, so we get those candid shots that really show the personality. Even if you're looking to camera, it's showing that kind of sparkle and showing the heart and the soul behind someone, and the passion for what they do, and photographing that moment and like getting those candid shots. Really, they're really powerful when you can't show those kind of images online and kind of say, hi, this is me. This is the person behind the brand and the business. This is why I started it. This is my passion. This is why I love it so much. So there you go.
No, well, I mean, that, as you say, is almost your USP. You're planning and you're working with the client previously to the actual job itself. How long do you work with them? Is there a sort of guideline, or I guess every client is different?
Yeah, I very rarely, if someone turns around to me and says, I need a shoot tomorrow, I will very rarely say yes. It might be a quick headshot shoot, but I won't work with a brand within that time frame, because I can't get to know you. I don't know what you need, and you're not going to get the most out of it, which means that you're going to end up investing more money again into photography. So I tend to say about 3 weeks for all of that planning, and to get everything sorted out. Generally, the longer the better. And at the moment, I am planning shoots, and we're looking ahead, and we've got loads of time to plan, because you don't know when we're going to come out of complete lockdown. It's the longer the better, really, but at least 3 weeks.
I'm thinking in my mind, you must be planning outdoor shoots more so than indoor.
To a certain degree, but it depends on the brand. If they need those shots of them working within. And we can, technically I can work business to business, and as long as we're both protected, but I'm very mindful that we're trying to, be sensible people in trying to stop the pandemic. So I'm kind of holding off as much as I can, and we'll start shooting properly when we can get out and about properly.
And be properly safe. Georgina, thank you so much for joining us. Now, how do we find you online?
Thank you for having me. You can find me on my website is www.georginalittlephotography.co.uk. And then my Instagram for the personal branding is at Suffolk Brand Photographer.
Lovely. Okay. Well,
and, thank you so much for having me on. Thank you. I'm very, very honoured.
Well, it's nice to have you on, and you were recommended by some lovely people.
I was. Previous clients, Young and Cooper, Lara and Danielle of Young and Cooper, who are the absolute social media gurus. So if you haven't met them or you haven't heard of them, then look them up at Young and Cooper on Instagram. And if you need any help with your Instagram, they're amazing. They're really, really amazing in terms of their strategy, and they do power hours. So go and look them up.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Lovely. Thank you ever so much. Bye-bye. Next up, it's Anne-Marie Doggett, owner of Miami Fox Apparel. A warm welcome to Anne-Marie. Hi, Anne-Marie. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to call you that.
Hey, Anne-Marie, that's it, yeah.
Well, it's lovely to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm looking at what you've sent to us. Your business is incredible and what you've done. But tell us, first of all, about your love of 80s music and Florida. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, so I didn't write too much because I thought, oh gosh, it's going to be a bit of a boring read. But yeah, so all of my friends and family know how much I love 80s music. I'm obsessed with 80s music. It lightens my day. I live in sort of Lowestoft area, and probably on a daily basis or a few days a week, if you're walking along the road, you'll probably hear a cargo pass with 80s tracks blasting out of the window. That's me. And there'll be something dancing in the car. That is me. Or dancing in my kitchen. Honestly, I've any excuse to dress up 80s, go to 80s themed parties, anything. Honestly, yeah, I'm obsessed. Even I actually had my 40th birthday last year, and that was obviously 80s themes. Everybody came. Literally every single person came 80s themes. So it was amazing. Yeah, I'm obsessed.
Nothing wrong with that.
And Florida, obviously, yeah. So I visited Florida probably about 20 years ago. And I fell in love with the place. Obviously we went to Disney World, but also I went to a place called Clearwater Beach, and it was just the most stunning place I've ever seen. And I saw dolphins, and it was just incredible. And I just felt really comfortable being there. And I haven't really had that same feeling in anywhere in Europe. And I'm so desperate to go back in, and I haven't been able to go back since. And really the dream is, because obviously the brand is called Miami Fox Apparel, the dream is that somewhere in future, hopefully in Miami, someone would stock Miami Fox Apparel clothing and merchandise. That would just be incredible. That's the dream.
It's a brilliant dream. It's fantastic. So originally you were in marketing and PR.
Yes, so I actually run a marketing, PR and events business in Lowestoft. So I've run that for 2 years. I actually won Entrepreneur of the Year in 2019, and in the same year I was a runner-up for New Business of the Year within 2 months. So and at that point I'd only had my business for a year. So I've done loads, and I do really unique events in the area to encourage tourism, but also just to kind of think outside the box, that, you know, events don't need to be the same all the time. You know, like I did a kind of Peaky Blinders themes night on one evening. I'd done a gin and soul cruise, so I hired a double-decker boat on the Broads here, and we had gin tasting, and we had a live DJ playing soul music as we cruised along the river. And that's never been done before, so I like to do things that are different. And because of all of those elements that I have, it works so well with the clothing brand, because obviously I know how to market it. And eventually, when it comes to, again, the dream is to have some kind of Miami Fox themed night, where obviously it's 80s, but then you can also buy the t-shirts, and you can buy so you've got to think big, haven't you?
Yes. No, I think it's absolutely brilliant. But you changed what you did last year because of COVID.
Yeah, so it's really difficult with what I do, because it's marketing, PR, events and promotion. They're the 4 areas that I cover. It probably took me about 1.5 years to gain regular clients. So I had about 3 regular clients where I was running their social media for them. Yep. But literally, as soon as March hit, all of them just cancelled. And obviously, I understood why. One of them was a huge holiday park, so I obviously understood that. But it just and then I was just like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. And because my business was so new, I couldn't get any help whatsoever. And then I invented something called Little Llama Box, which is arts and crafts that I made and I had printed for children who are obviously stuck in lockdown, who didn't have anything, because obviously I've got children myself.
Yeah.
So I created this box, and it was just had lots of activities and crafts. So that done quite well, actually. And then I brought out one for adults, which was an anxiety box. So it had all tips on meditating and how to reduce anxiety, all that kind of stuff. That did really well. So that brought a small kind of income in. And then from that, I then had an idea of creating matching tees, because I've got 2 little boys. I quite like wearing similar T-shirts to them.
Yep.
So then I kind of toured with the idea, and then I thought, that's right, because I actually because not last year, but the year before, I was actually part of the first Light Festival team in Lowestoft. And I actually got some advice from Wayne Hemingway, because obviously I'd worked with him on the project. And I said, could you just give me, look, I've got an idea about bringing out this clothing brand. My husband came into it as well, because he just thought this was such a great idea. So I actually got some advice from Wayne, and the very first thing he said is that the brand has got to be nothing less than amazing. And also that you've got to get it on the right people's backs. So I was like, okay, well, I knew it was going to be amazing, because who doesn't love 80s and who doesn't love Florida? So we were kind of just thinking, what could the name be? And then, like I said, because I thought of Miami, and then I thought Fox was quite a cool name, and just putting them together and having it as Miami Fox Apparel means that it doesn't necessarily need to be just a T-shirt. We could delve into so many other things, and then kind of between myself and my husband, we sketched the logo, sent it to my friend who is actually my web designer anyway for my marketing business, and he brought it to life in the neon colours that we wanted, and there it was. It was just like, as soon as we saw it, we were like, oh my gosh, this is it, this is amazing. But we did everything local. So our design is local. He's from Lowestoft, and then what we did was we actually set off to do a photo shoot, which was in Great Yarmouth in September, and we had amazing sunshine on that day. We knew it was going to be a little bit cloudy in the afternoon, so we went in the morning. So one of my friends has a Pontiac Trans Am, and our other friend had a grey Ford Mustang. So we went down to the beach in Great Yarmouth. We had 2 different locations, so myself and my husband actually modelled the T-shirts, and then 2 of my photographer friends who I've known for a while, they took the shots, and then we also asked my husband's nephew, who's 18, and a friend of ours, Spencer, he joined in as well. So it was all very much sort of family and friends. So we did this amazing photo shoot, and we made it look like it was in America. And that's exactly, that was exactly the aim. It was all very bright and colourful and sunny and lovely. And then actually from the money that I'd made previously from the boxes, I then used that to buy in stock. And then we had our friend who's the designer, he prints onto the T-shirts, but everything that we do is eco-friendly. So the T-shirts are 100% organic cotton, but also packaging is eco-friendly. So the tissue paper is recycled tissue paper. It's recyclable as well. The bags that they're sent in are actually sugarcane bags. There's no plastic whatsoever. And this is what we're aiming for every element as far as we can for all of our clothing and merchandise. So at the moment we are working on caps, and specifically obviously organic cotton caps, which is quite difficult to source, but again, we want to pave that way. Do you know what I mean? We just realised that there aren't actually that many companies out there that are going down the organic route, and you can really tell the difference between a standard cotton T-shirt and organic cotton. The difference is huge. When our customers buy a T-shirt or even a sweater or a hoodie, or a kit, because we do children's matching T-shirts now, which is obviously where the original idea came from. They can feel the quality of the T-shirt, but they also love the logo, and that is what it's all about. You can feel the difference, you can feel the quality of it, and even the process of me packaging it. I love it because I wrap it up like it's a present. You know,
well, it is,
and I just love that process of it. And I think, oh my gosh, like I hope they're as excited to receive this as I am wrapping it. But it's the whole process. It's really exciting.
you mentioned baseball caps, but you're going to be doing hoodies and sweaters too?
We've got hoodies and sweaters already.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So we have 3 different versions of our logo because it fits different kind of personality. So our original logo, which is obviously very neon, we call that the Neon Fox. And then we have, because I quite like my vintage as well. So we then have the Vintage Fox, which is quite a kind of distressed logo look. And then we have the Alpha Fox, which is just literally the fox's head and not the palm trees and the sun in the background. So there's 3 different versions of the logo. So then and then people can choose which one they like rather than just having the same logo on a different colour t-shirt, you know. And that's working really well because, you know, we find that people, you know, they'll comment on our page and like, oh, I love this logo, or I love this one, or this is my favourite, you know, and it's really nice to know that it appeals to completely different people in different genres. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I'm looking at them now on your website. I can see a young boy wearing the neon one. Is that you wearing the vintage one?
Yeah, so that's me. Yep. So I wear the vintage t-shirt and the vintage jumper. Yeah. And then the little blonde boy and the brunette boy, they're our children.
I thought they might be. They look like you.
Cheeky little faces, yeah. So they're modelling the matching tees, and then and then we've got my husband and our nephew and our friend Spencer as well. So Spencer is the main image on the front page of the website.
The guy
and
with
he's
the cool
wearing
beard.
The Fox t-shirt. Exactly, yeah, that's right. And that's actually why my husband wanted him to model, because of his beard and his tattoos, because we wanted to show that, you know, you don't have to look a particular way to wear a t-shirt, you know, like it doesn't matter who you are, you know, how you look, you can wear one of a t-shirt and you'll look amazing. Yeah.
And you all do. They're lovely t-shirts. I'm getting, my wallet is talking to me, but I must carry on. Right. So, in particular, so these t-shirts, they come in obviously different from kids up to all sizes, adult sizes, and you've got a lovely selection on your website. What's your website address?
So it's www.miamifoxapparel.co.uk.
And we can follow you on Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram. We do have Twitter, but we don't tend to use it very much. We don't kind of see so much interaction on that. So, but mainly Instagram is huge for us, and then secondly Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram's so visual, isn't it? And we follow you.
Yes. Thank you. We've actually got some huge fans in America.
Have you?
Which is amazing. Yeah, because what we did originally, because my husband, his cousin is from a band called Don Broco. Which are a huge rock band,
right?
And also, my best friend, her cousin is a guy called Big Al, who's part of Woody and Kleiny. I don't know if you've heard of those, but huge like prankster team. But anyway, so we they thankfully wore our t-shirts for us to put on, you know, on their Instagram. The Don Broco, we didn't actually realise like how huge they were in America, and then all of a sudden, like we've had 3, I think, from the same girls, like huge fans of Don Broco, but they're now huge fans of Miami Fox, are just like constantly ordering things from us, which is lovely. One is in Washington, the other one is in California. So for us, that's amazing, considering we've only been running for like 4 months. Yeah, it's amazing, you know. And actually, one of the girls has just made personal to Mr. and Mrs. Fox with a Miami Fox logo on the side, some travel mugs, which I'm yet to go and pick up today. So I'm so excited. But I just think that's so lovely, you know, and so I'd love them to listen in, you know, all the way from, you know, Washington and California. So I'd love them to listen in and have a little hear of the interview. That'd be great.
Well, I hope they will. I mean, this podcast goes out over Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Deezer, you name it, Amazon Music. Excellent. So they can listen to it anyway, or they can just listen to it on our website. It's up to them.
That's great. Yeah, that's fab. That's brilliant.
Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about your t-shirts and all of your beautiful clothing. We wish you great success.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I just want to give a shout out actually to Terry Eaton Photography. He nominated us. So yeah, I want to say thank you to him for that. He's a great guy, and he follows us as well. And I've known him for a while, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
There you go, Terry. Well, thanks again.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye. Introducing Kate Byrne, co-director of Asgard Fitness in Newmarket. And a very warm welcome to you, Kate.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure to have you. Really interested in what you do, particularly as you're the only gym in what I'm reading here, a 25-mile radius that offers such amazing facilities. So we'll get into that in a minute. But how did you work with two other directors? Tell us all about how you started putting Asgard together.
Who is Asgard to start with? Asgard is, his full name is Asgard Fitness. We're a privately owned and operated gym and fitness facility based in Newmarket in Suffolk. So it's operated by three directors. That's myself, my fiance Dan Jones, and a good friend Paul Turner, alongside a really awesome staff of three people. We opened in 2016, which feels like a lot longer now, but it's been a really successful curve for us, and we can safely say that we're the largest kind of independent facility with the broadest range of equipment within easily, I think, a 25-mile radius of Newmarket. So that's kind of something that we're really, really proud of.
Yeah. Why did you get together and do it?
We were all members of like numerous gyms previously, and we noticed a gap specifically in the market in Newmarket for an independent gym, which not only cared about its members, but didn't just see them as like either a number or a direct debit, but who were looking to kind of constantly reinvest in the business and allow its members to kind of have a voice about what went on in the facility, and also to create a community. I mean, as a gym goer myself, I kind of got fed up of paying for monthly direct debits and for equipment to be constantly broken or dirty and no timeline for replacement. And we kind of sat down, the three of us, and said, right, with this in mind, can we do better? And then at that point, essentially, a gym business was formed in our minds, formulated in our heads, but at that point didn't have a name. And I think we took about 18 months behind the scenes of searching property and looking at names and starting businesses before we kind of came upon the name of Asgard, which was actually thought of by Dan. So we can give him that kudos that he thought of the name. But that's essentially where kind of Asgard came from.
It's interesting that you say that, because I'm sure many people listening to this, and in fact to myself as well, I've joined several gyms throughout my life and I've hardly felt welcome, to be honest. And I know nobody knows who I am. I sort of sneak in and sneak out, and it's just not a nice experience.
No, and I think you'll find that with a lot of franchise gyms specifically, so not wanting to mention any names, but sometimes in independent gyms you feel like you've just become a number or a direct debit, and that's, again, why we kind of opened it. We wanted people to feel like part of a community, because that's how we felt ourselves. So we took our direct experience as individuals and said, okay, what are current gym experiences missing, and how can we fill that, and how can we fill that gap? And hopefully we have. And one of the big things I'm proud of as one of the directors, as a female, is the balance of male to female members that we have. So I think we're something sitting like 60 to 40 split male to female.
Right.
And we have female members like of all ages, all walks of life. And they tell us that, Asgard is an inclusive, safe and welcoming environment where they feel motivated to train. And as a female and a director of Asgard, that's something that I'm particularly kind of happy with, that they feel motivated to train in what can be a male-dominated kind of space.
It's important for them to feel like you actually know them. I'm guessing you know them all by name.
Well, we call them our Asgardians, actually. So they actually have a name in a community, and we have strap lines. So we are Asgard, and people will put on their posts, I am Asgard. So it was one of our objectives when we first set up the business to create a community where that people felt part of and felt that they had a voice as well, which I think is equally important. It's all well and good to be part of a community, but if you don't feel like your opinion is heard or your voice is heard, then it's kind of pointless, which is where when we choose new bits of kit and we reinvest in pieces of kit and things like that, we actually open that choice out to our members. So we'll put like a poll on our social media and say, look, guys, of these three pieces of kit, which one would you like to see in the facility? And that's, we like to keep our members involved in that way and make them feel like part of the decision-making process.
Yeah. Brilliant. And they all own it. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Talk about the gym itself. What sort of facilities you have?
Yeah, so we are, Asgard is comprised of, I think there's 6,400 square foot across 2 levels. So downstairs we have 50 pieces of equipment, so that's free weights and selectorized kit. We have an outdoor training area, which most kind of smaller independent gyms don't. So we have comprehensive strong person training kits. So all the things that you see in like World's Strongest Man. So the axles that they carry and the Atlas stones that they have. So we have all that kit at Asgard. And then upstairs we have a cardio suite with all the newest kit. So the Stairmasters, the ski ergs, assault bikes. And then also on the same level upstairs, we've got like a functional training area with like a sprint track and a climbing wall, which also doubles as a class area for our martial arts and bounce classes. So
it's a fair size, isn't it?
It's a fair size, yeah. We searched around for a unit for a long, long time, actually. And fate pointed us towards the unit that we're at now in Studlands Park Industrial Estate in Newmarket, and it couldn't have been a better fit for us.
No.
So, yeah, we're happy with it. And we host like several member events every year when we can, when we're allowed to open. So including the Strong People events, and we donate the proceeds to charity from those. So I think last year's charity of choice was Each, so East Anglian Children's Hospice. And then we get involved or try and get involved in kind of local Newmarket community events where we can. So we did the festival last year when we were allowed to all see each other and be within 2 meters of each other.
I want to know more about that gym and what's in it without getting too technical. Tell us, just kind of visualize for us or talk through the main pieces of kit that we can expect to use as members.
Well, goodness. Okay, so when you walk into the building, we've got a very large roller door which just has the kind of stylized Asgard graphics on it. We have a deadlift platform. We have 3 power racks, which people that are kind of used to lifting will understand these strange terms that I'm using. We have 2 sets of dumbbells. We have loads and loads of kind of gluten ham kits. Pretty much every piece of kit that you could want in a gym we have, and it's split by body part. So you've got obviously chest, back, legs, arms, and then upstairs, like I've said, is the functional training area. So you've got like a sprint track, you've got boxing bags, you've got climbing walls. And like that space also doubles up for our martial arts classes. So it's a lot packed into a reasonable space. Yeah,
it's an adult's playground. It sounds incredible.
Yes, we like to think so.
Now, for someone like me, I haven't got a clue how to use equipment like that. Do you offer personal trainers?
We do. We have, Asgard has several fantastic both male and female PTs who specialise in different disciplines. So some PTs are specialised in, say, strong person training. Some people are specialised in Olympic lifting. Some people are specialised in nutrition. So what tends to happen is people that want personal training will approach us, and then what we'll do is we'll guide them towards the most appropriate kind of trainer for their requirements. And then we also have an on-site physiotherapist called Josh who can obviously fix your aches and pains. So we have that ability on site as well. So you can come in and train, but then also if you want to get fixed as well, then hopefully Josh can fix you. Amazing.
It sounds wonderful. And for me, it just sounds so professional, but everybody's welcome as a member.
Oh, absolutely. We've got demographics that span, male and female, working mums, working dads, dentists, doctors. We have marathon runners. We have bodybuilders. We have strong men, strong women. We have people that just like to do martial arts. So we've got a real depth and breadth of kind of customer base, and everyone is welcome. And we wanted it to be that way, to feel like a community. It doesn't matter who you are or what level of training you do. You are more than welcome at Asgard, and everyone. That's the kind of the kudos that we have with the company and the ethos, and you'll find that when people get stuck for training, other members will jump in and help people and step up, and there's no ego. No, it sounds like a really nice vibe, friendly. Yeah, friendly, a community, definitely. And, we have lots of shares on social and I think people kind of appreciate the community that we've built, and they feel like part of something, which was one of our big objectives. What about classes for not just adults, but for children? Do you offer those? We do. So, as I mentioned, the space upstairs, I think is roughly around, I think it's like 2,500 square feet upstairs. We have Blue Wave Mixed Martial Arts with us, and they do comprehensive classes for both adults and children. So from everything from karate to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to kickboxing. They also host like self-defense classes for women. So we've seen a lot of kind of uptake on those classes. So that's for both adults and children. And then we also host Bounce, which is like a trampoline-based high-intensity style class, which has actually proved really popular at the gym over the last few months. Well, when we've been opened,
Yeah, when you've been opened. Now, I know we can't come to you right now, but that's only because of lockdown. Normally, I presume you're open 7 days a week.
We are 7 days a week. Monday to Friday, 6 till 9. Saturday is 7 till 5. Sunday is 8 till 4. So, we host some fairly comprehensive hours,
And how do we look into becoming a member?
Yeah, if you want to become a member and become an Asgardian, as it were, we would love that. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram if you search for Asgard Fitness Limited. And both of those pages have links to our online membership portal. So you could also, when we do open, kind of buy branded apparel, which is actually really popular, and supplements in-house. So things like pre-workout, protein powders, protein bars, that kind of thing. But what we're hoping to do is move all that online soon. So people will be able to buy like branded clothing and supplements online soon.
Great. Fantastic. That's wonderful. Now, you don't have a website, but we can follow you on social media.
You can on Facebook and on Instagram currently, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's a website coming.
Yeah, it's in the works. We're looking at like what we want to put on the website and what we want to bring, but it's definitely pending for us, yeah.
Okay. Well, Kate, thank you so much for spending some time with us. It sounds absolutely wonderful, and we wish you all the success when you can reopen your doors, and look forward to talking to you again at some point.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to the Suffolk Pod Show for having us on. It's really nice to kind of get some local exposure, and also to thank Claire Bryant from the Handy Marketing Company, as I think she was the one that kind of recommended us up. So thanks to everyone that's kind of got us this space. It's appreciated.
Well, thank you very much. Well, a big hello to your other directors, and we'll see you when we can see you.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye. Next up, we have Sasha, who runs Langham Clinic. And here she is. Welcome, Sasha.
Hi, Susanna.
Hello, and welcome to the show. How are you over there?
Really good, thank you. Are you okay?
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. We're missing getting out and about, and particularly going to Langham. Langham's such a beautiful village. But Sasha, let's talk about you. And you decided to become a beauty therapist at the age of 12.
I did. It was a school careers evening.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I was just drawn to the lady talking about a beauty therapy career, and that's when I decided. And I've never wanted to do anything else, and I'm 49 now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I'm pleased I didn't have all that trying to decide what I was going to do. And I also decided I wanted to train at the London College of Fashion, which was a bit like going to Oxford or Cambridge in the beauty therapy world back in the 1980s.
Right. So off you went.
So, yeah. I did. I didn't get in the first year, and then the second year I applied and I was interviewed by a head of beauty therapy who asked me what I was going to do if I didn't get in again. And I said, I'll apply again next year because I'm not training anywhere else.
Good answer.
Quite a determined teenager.
So when did you qualify?
So I trained for 2 years and qualified in 1990, and then worked in London beauty salons before I moved to Suffolk in 95. Right. And then I worked from home for quite some time.
And then eventually you opened your clinic in Langham.
Yeah, so I decided as a teenager that I was going to have my own business, a clinic or a beauty salon. Didn't do it till I was 44, but I waited till my youngest was at school and then spent nearly a whole year looking for business premises. One fell through, and then eventually someone sent me the Rightmove link to the business premises I'm in now, and instantly knew that's where I was going.
So what do you do at the clinic?
So we offer everything from sort of waxing, including intimate waxing, to Dr. Hauschka facials, electrolysis, skin tag removal, manicures, pedicures. And then we have other therapists who come in who do things like CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, EMDR, acupuncture, sports massage. We've got Pilates, hypnotherapy, nutritional medicine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of variety.
And particularly, I know you wanted to talk about oncology massage. Can you go for it? Tell us more about that.
Okay, so when you do any kind of massage training, one of the first things they go through is the people that can't have treatments. So if you sort of had recent surgery, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And always on that list is anyone that's had a cancer diagnosis in the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. So what was happening was that my existing clients occasionally, unfortunately, would get a diagnosis and I would have to say, I'm sorry, I can't treat you anymore. Mm. So I decided to do an oncology massage training. But I get people referred from St Nicholas Hospice who come to me for that as well. So, you know, if you've had a diagnosis in the last 5 years and you booked a spa day somewhere, you quite often would arrive and they would say you can't have treatment. Mm.
But why is that?
So years ago, they used to think it was a risk to spread the cancer around, but now further studies show that it doesn't do any more than going for a walk. So Macmillan and all the oncology consultants now think a massage is a really good idea because it's quite a stressful thing to go through. People have a lot of trouble sleeping and, you know, lots and lots of things. So I wanted to do that. And it's actually been really popular, unfortunately. It's sad that there's a need for it, but it's a really satisfying treatment to give. And people really, really appreciate it and love having it. So
I'm sure they
do. Really happy to do that.
And what is, or who is Dr. Hauschka?
The Dr. Hauschka skincare range that we use at the clinic was developed in 1967. So, and it's a 100% natural organic skincare line. So that sort of was sustainable before that was even a known phrase in the 60s. Most of the ingredients are grown biodynamically, which is a form of organic agriculture with higher standards, and they plant and harvest using a lunar calendar. So they're looking at the phases of the moon. But the products are quite different. They're designed more to support the natural functions of your skin rather than sort of beat it into submission. So if you're treating somebody with acne, instead of sort of throwing really, really strong products and ingredients at it, we treat it as if it's a really, really sensitive skin and try to calm it down. Also looking at what people are eating and sort of lifestyle things as well, how stressed they are, that kind of thing. But the actual facial is 2 hours long. We work on the arms and the legs as well as the face, and we're working on the lymphatic system, which cleanses the skin from within.
Right.
It's also a big part of your immune system. So it's a very sort of holistic health thing rather than just a treatment for the skin and the face.
Oh, sounds amazing.
Yeah. If you don't fall asleep, I'm really upset. I start thinking, oh no, what went wrong? I didn't fall asleep. So, lots of snoring in my room.
Well, that's a good thing then.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, just before we started recording, you were telling me about something really interesting. Would you like to talk about what you're studying now?
Yeah, so I'm just making inquiries about doing some more electrolysis training, which I've been doing electrolysis for 30 years. It's a bit of a dying skill. They don't do it in current beauty therapy training usually anymore.
Right.
But it's the only method of hair removal that's legally allowed to use the phrase permanent hair removal.
Okay.
It's been around since 1906, so we know it's safe. But I'm looking at doing a training so that I can work on people going through gender reassignment surgery. So because the surgeons that work on these people will only recommend electrolysis. So
okay.
Yeah, that's my next course when I'm allowed.
Yeah, of course.
When I'm allowed out.
Yeah, you must be dying to see your clients.
Yeah, I'm really missing everybody. It's really, you know, I'm asking the kids if they want a massage because I just can't not do it. It's really, it's really upsetting. But lots of them phone me and to sort of see how I am and order products and stuff.
How do we do that?
So,
how do we find you? I was about to ask you that.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram as Langham Clinic and also on Facebook. Then the website is just langhamclinic.co.uk. So people email me or phone me, ask for advice about skincare, and then I deliver locally or post products out to people. And we've got gift vouchers available on the website if anyone wants to buy someone a
Yeah, that's a nice idea.
A massage.
And we can book with you, but we just, I guess you don't know when you're going to be able to open again.
I've got a waiting list in the back of a very old paper appointment book, even though my bookings are online, and it's got quite a lot of people on it. Yeah, but everyone's desperate to come and have a massage because everyone's so sort of fed up and stressed.
It's all a bit stressful, isn't it? But
stop-start's really, I think, more stressful for people.
Well, there will be an end to all of this.
Yes, I'm hoping the spring.
Well, Sasha, we hope that we will come and meet you one day and indeed even perhaps embark on one of your amazing therapies. But for now, we wish you well and luck, and good luck with your training as well when that can start.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks very much for coming on the Suffolk Pod Show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been fabulous. And I wanted to thank the business that recommended me, which was Time For You Suffolk Cleaning.
And they did, and they were lovely about you too. And now we know why.
Yes, she's a very nice lady. I've known her a long time.
Well, we'll be in touch with her soon. I'm absolutely sure of it. Right. Thank you so much and speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
We're talking to Janine Hawkins-Bush, owner of Heavenly Hair, Sir Barbers and Key Street Collective. Welcome, Janine. Hello, Janine. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Susanna.
Good to hear from you, and it's great to speak to you. Now, you've been in the hairdressing business for 30 years.
I have, yes. I started prior to leaving school at the age of 13.
And then from there, you've never left it?
No, I have dipped it out on the odd occasion, but predominantly, yes, I've been in it the whole occasion, yes.
And you originally started in London?
I started in Essex, and then went to London, and then back to Essex, then on to France. Then back to Suffolk.
Okay.
So I moved around quite a bit.
Eventually, you obviously settled and opened up your own salon. Tell us about that.
Yes, so I had 2 salons in Essex for 17 years, which I sold, moved to France, had a salon there. And then when I came back to Suffolk, I kind of needed to learn the area and ended up opening somewhere in Saxmundham in 2015.
And you noticed there was quite a gap in the market for the sort of hairdressing or hairstyling that you do.
Yeah, I think it just hadn't grown up around here, really. It needed that injection of something new and different.
Yeah, you certainly brought that.
Yes, we did, in bundles. Bit of a shock when I opened the door.
So tell us a story about when you first bought your shop in Saxmundham and how it's all developed onto having 3 salons now.
Okay, so the shop in Saxmundham was an old bookshop. Got the keys to on the 19th of October in 2015, and we opened on the 2nd of November, so we had a really quick turnaround. And so bookshop to hair salon. And I opened up, I was working on my own. I thought, this will be easy, small village town, perfect. And then within 3 weeks of opening, I realised that I'd bitten off a lot more than I could chew and looked for staff straight away and then built that up over a period of 3 years. And then that kind of exceeded its space. So then I looked for a second unit, which lucky to find somewhere on Aldborough High Street. And then I shifted the men's department to Aldborough. There hadn't been a barbershop in Aldborough for 40 years. So it was a great opening, great opportunity. And then we diversified all the shops into eco-sustainable. And then we found a nice unit in Woodbridge in March 2020, which possibly wasn't the best. Got the keys and then we went to lockdown. We didn't open till August 1st. But all the salons now are totally eco-sustainable and vegan friendly.
So as you were used to working just you, and now suddenly you've got quite a large staff.
Yeah, we've got about 12 to 3 shops, which is not too huge. Once we did have about 18 at one point, but it just got too busy, too much, and the environment was just too bustly. So we calmed it down. But no, it has been amazing. Amazing 5 years.
So Janine, you sound so passionate about what you do. How do you pass that on to your staff?
I think you lead by example, really. I do have a huge passion for it. We are members of the Fellowship of British Hairdressing, so we have a lot of opportunities with them. We do a lot of stage work, show work, photographic work. And I think I just look for the team members that have that same passion, that same buzz and want to get involved. Obviously, not everybody does. It's not everyone's passion to that degree. But we have a really strong team that does like getting their hands stuck in.
Can we talk a bit more about the eco-sustainable products that you use within the salons?
Yeah, so all our products are eco-sustainable, vegan friendly. and they are as pure as they can be pure. And we work with Davines, which is an Italian company, and they are a B Corp company that uses ingredients from prestigious farms. So prestigious farms are local small farms, not big conglomerates. Right. And it's one of the only few remaining family-owned companies now within our industry.
Uh-huh. And what sort of products do you have on offer?
So we have everything from smoothing treatments to curling treatments, shampoos, conditioners, styling products, across the board, really everything you could possibly need.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you had the barber's shop in Aldborough, and you very much describe it as a gender-neutral outlet.
That's right, we are. There's a lot of women that have very short haircuts and like barbering them on their heads. So we don't exclude women from the barbershop at all. Obviously, if they've got long hair, that's a bit different. That's a hairdressing. But if a lady wants a haircut in a barber's fashion, then they are more than welcome.
Yeah. Tell me about the scalp clinic.
Oh, yeah, the scalp clinic. So we work with a company called Mediceuticals, which is a totally eco-friendly company again, and it's a special medical based. So we prescribe. So we look at the scalp through a microscope and look at how the scalp might be blocked, and then look at and then diagnose from there, and then we recommend products suitable. So it's a bit like being a clinician, and we prescribe products for the client to take away.
This clinic is something that I would want to use if my hair was thinning, for example, and you'd have a really good look at the hair follicle and work out what was going on.
Yeah, we'd have an in-depth look at the scalp through a microscope and bring it up on a television screen so you can actually see it yourself as well. So we can see how the scalp's being blocked and then how we can remedy that fact. It can be used for hair loss, thinning, alopecia, sometimes it's through stress-relating medication that you're using. Yeah. So it's not just about hair loss, but it's a culmination of lots of things.
Yeah. Now, you're well known for brilliant colouring.
Yes, we are. We love colour work.
Tell us more about that.
So we have 4 colour specialists within the salon. Every team member is a colour specialist, and we pride ourselves on that fact that we all have our specialist skills as well. So one of our young ladies specialises in balayage, one specialises in foils and full head colours, another specialises in short hair colour work. So we have a good team which crosses the board of every aspect. We got involved with New Hair for Men last year during lockdown and after lockdown. And it's a specialist system for men. They do a women's system as well. For men that have lost their hair, especially younger men that want to, feel like they're old before their time and want their hair back, but don't want the invasive treatment. So what New Hair for Men is, it's a bespoke service where a piece of hair is made and designed for your head to colour match, etc. Yeah. It's then adhered to the head in a special way and then cut into your shape style that you'd like to have. And then you can swim, shower, you can literally jump in a swimming pool, get under the shower, you can treat it as a normal head of hair. Wow.
That's amazing what we can do these days.
Oh, it's phenomenal. And they've changed the look of a person. It's dramatic.
Where do we find all these wonderful salons?
Right, so you find us in 11 High Street, Saxon, London, 116 to 118 High Street, Aldborough, and 12 Key Street in Woodbridge.
Fantastic. And you have websites for all of those. And how do we follow you on social media?
So we are at Key Street Collective, at Heavenly Hair _ Amaya Spa, and at Sir Barbers.
Great. I've had a look at all your social media and you've put up all sorts of wonderful photographs of what you do. So I highly recommend people to follow you. Janine, thank you so much for coming on.
It's a pleasure. It's been lovely talking to you.
Well, we look forward to... I am actually going to come over to you and you can have a good look at my hair.
Fantastic. We have an online product shop if you need anything, which launched yesterday as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Or last night. Last night. I'm just on the Heavenly Hair one. We're working on the other ones now. So, yes. But no, do come and see us. Come and see us and I'll take good care of you.
Thank you, Janine. Thanks for coming on and we'll see you soon.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye. We're talking to Hannah Powell, Communications and HR Director for Perrywood Garden Centres in Sudbury and Tiptree. And here's Hannah. Hannah, hello, are you there?
I am, good morning.
And a very good morning to you too. Hannah, we're looking forward to hearing about Perrywood Garden Centres, Sudbury and Tiptree. But before we talk about the actual garden centres, can we talk a bit about you?
Absolutely. What would you like to know?
Just want to know your story, really, how you ended up working. I think it's a family business, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. So My family, I should say, have had the site at Perrywood Tiptree since the 1950s. So that was my grandparents who bought a 4-acre site and really kind of lived off the land. They had cows, they grew field crops, potatoes, strawberries, etc. And then my dad and my mum took it over in 1984. They moved on site with their 3 children, myself and my 2 younger brothers. So I grew up on a house next to the garden centre. So literally lived and breathed that kind of world. And from 1984 for the next kind of 30 years, Mum and Dad built and developed that business with us kind of involved in it very much as children, as teenagers. Then we all went off and did our own thing. So I did a degree in horticulture, absolutely loved plants, still do. But I went to London because all my mates were there and I didn't fancy going and working on a nursery out in the middle of nowhere. So I went to London and I ended up in PR and marketing for 10 years.
Right.
And then I came back into the business and back to Perrywood, which was great actually because I had lots of useful skills that I could bring back. We had a pretty terrible logo when I came back, so I got rid of that, updated that. We had no website, so I did that, so it's been a really interesting journey, if you like, and now back working for the business.
So, and how long have you been working there?
About 10 years. I came back as a freelancer to start with. I wanted to dip my toe in the water of working with my whole family. We'd grown up, living and breathing the business. So in some ways it was entirely natural to be in an office with my family because we'd grown up around the kitchen table talking about work. But, there's always that fear of, is it going to ruin the relationships that we have and how is it going to work? So, yeah, I freelanced for a bit and had other clients as well. And then I think it was when my daughter's 8 now, and I think I went back into the business and ditched the other clients just after maternity leave. So, yeah, about 7 years ago.
So let's talk about the garden centre. I presume Tiptree obviously was the mothership of the organisation.
Yes. Yes. And absolutely. Yeah, and Sudbury's the small child at the moment. So we took that over two years ago. We were looking for a second garden centre and nothing kind of came up or was available that we were interested in. And then Wyvale put all of their garden centres on the market and we were like, wow, this is a huge opportunity. This is kind of once in a decade or 2 decade kind of opportunity. So we went and visited a lot of them in Essex, in Suffolk and even up in Norfolk as well. And Sudbury was the one we fell in love with. It's a 20 to 30 acre site, so there's loads of potential. And at the moment, it's a much smaller garden centre than we've got at Tiptree, but we're just waiting for the green light from Baber District Council for planning permission to build a brand new garden centre. We're expecting that to go through in the next few weeks. So that's a kind of £8 to £10 million build, lots of new jobs. So yeah, really excited about what we can do over there.
That is really exciting. Can we talk about your plants? Because I have actually been to one of your garden centres and it's just beautiful. If you love plants, it's just the place to be.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're most proud of, to be honest. I mean, my dad, who he's going to be, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he's going to be 70 this year. He still works 4 or 5 days a week. And he's just got an innate passion for growing and for plants. And he's passed that on to, his children. And we have a team that is potty about plants as well. So everything we do comes back to our overall vision of getting more, inspiring people to get more plants in their lives. So even our giftware department goes back to botanical themes and things that people who like gardens in the countryside would have in their homes. But yeah, so we love plants. We grow a lot of them ourselves. So at Tiptree we've got a nursery, and at Sudbury we're actually at the moment renovating some greenhouses so that we can have some nursery area over there as well. So yeah, it's something that I'm really keen on.
So if I'm interested in putting in some new bedding plants in my garden or whatever, I can actually come to you and get advice as well as buy the plants.
Yeah, absolutely. So we employ plant experts at both Sudbury and Tiptree. So these are people that have either studied horticulture or, worked in horticulture for a long time. They know all the plant names. They know if you come to them and say, I've got a north-facing wall and I want a climber, they will help you. If you want, spring bedding plants for a shade, for sun, they will help you out. And again, that's something I'm really proud of. It's not always easy to find people with that knowledge. So when we do, we really hold on to that and nurture that. And we've also had a lot of people that have joined us with relatively little knowledge that have become plant experts and kind of learnt from the team around them as well, which is great.
And it's not just plants, of course, that you do. You've got all sorts of gardening supplies. You mentioned your giftware.
Beautiful giftware. We've got an amazing visual merchandising team. So they do the most beautiful displays. We use a lot of faux flowers, silk flowers in our displays indoors. We really make you feel like you're in the garden. Just inspiring displays really, which is great.
And garden furniture?
Yes, so that's coming in now. There's a bit of a uncertainty this year with the problems at the ports. So I would say to anyone that wants furniture this year, if you find a set you like, whether with us or someone else, probably go and buy it, because we're not sure we're going to get the stock this year that we've ordered.
Okay.
But yeah, that's starting to come out at the moment. Yeah.
Now, normally, I think, do you have a coffee shop at both venues?
Yes, so we've got a coffee shop, and actually we opened last year a greenhouse cafe as well. It's been something we wanted to do for a while, but with social distancing it just made sense. And then Sudbury, we totally refurbished the coffee shop when we took over the business. So we've got a really lovely coffee shop, all homemade food. We sell massive double-sized scones, which go down really well. So things like the Stilton and walnut. They're a big favourite. Someone actually said to me on a Zoom call the other day, I'm really missing your Stilton and walnut scones. I need you to reopen. So the teams there that are furloughed, they're really missing work, and it's hard for them when the garden centre teams are still working, but the coffee shop teams are not. So shout to them, say hello to them. They work so hard normally. So yeah, we miss them.
Plants, winter plants, or rather this time of the year, things are beginning to pop through. I mean, obviously the wildflowers are coming, the snowdrops and what have you. But what can we specifically buy at this time of the year that's going to look beautiful in the garden and not freeze?
It's something actually I'm really passionate about, is making sure you've got something in your garden for this time of year, because I think if you get flowers in your garden at this time of year, you can kind of shorten the winter. You can kind of get that mindset that spring's on its way, and I think it just puts you in a positive frame of mind. So I would advise bulbs, and if you didn't plant them last autumn, you can go and buy them potted now, so it's not too late. So things like iris, snowdrop, daffodils, the tulips will be later on. All of those kind of things, they'll be absolutely fine, whatever the weather. Hellebores at the moment as well, I can get them in kind of whites and purples and speckled ones. So they're really nice. They're probably my favourites.
What do we need to plant now to follow on from that?
I'd say at the moment, obviously, the ground is pretty much frozen, so there's not much planting going on. So you want to wait for the soil to warm up a bit. Things that what will I be planting? There's some great things you can buy from seed, actually, and, sow direct onto your flower beds that will keep coming back year after year. So I've got in my garden, for example, lavender mist. So you plant it once, and every year it will come up. And if it comes up where you don't want it, you just kind of pull those out, and it's fairly easy. But yeah, it depends on your style of garden, I think, because if people want a kind of neat manicure garden, then the seeds that kind of come up again and again are not what they want. But for me, I like that kind of natural look, so I like things like that. Honesty is another one as well, because you get wonderful white or purple flowers, and then you get the lovely dried seed heads in the winter as well, so that's a really good one.
Sounds wonderful. Now, your garden centres are open at the moment?
Yes, they are. We're doing slightly shorter hours this week because of the weather. From Saturday we're back to normal hours.
Great, okay. And how do we find you? There's a website?
Yeah, so at Sudbury it's perrywood.sudbury.co.uk. In Essex it's perrywood.co.uk. But yeah, search for Perrywood on any social media or Google, and we'll come right up to the top. So yeah, quite easy to find us.
Lovely. And we can follow you on social media too?
Yes, please. Yeah, all the Perrywood, as I say, if you search Perrywood, we're on there. I'm currently writing a book called The Cactus Surgeon. Because when I was 6, I wanted to be a cactus surgeon, as you do. I'm hoping the book will be out this year, but it's really about my experiences of growing up on a garden centre, but also how I have used nature to help me recover from depression and some illness, kind of burnout that I had when I was in London. So yeah, you can search for me on social media as well. There's not many other people called the Cactus Surgeon, so you should be able to find me quite easily.
I can't say I've come across another one, but brilliant, Hannah. That's
no, exactly.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and we hope that we will come and see you soon, as we can all get out.
Yeah, I hope so. It's hard, there's so many people people that have said, they really feel, someone actually said to me the other day, they feel homesick for Perrywood, because a lot of people just love the plants and the kind of bright colours and things. And I do as well. I'm not there as much as I would be normally. So, yeah, we'll look forward to welcoming everyone back when they can.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much for coming on to the Suffolk Pod Show.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me. And shout out to Terry as well at Eastern Photography for nominating us to come on. That was great. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Suffolk Pod Show. Find us on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, or you can visit our website, podtalk.co.uk. And here's our disclaimer.
The Suffolk Pod Show will not be held responsible for any omissions or errors in its podcast.
The Suffolk Pod Show is produced purely for entertainment purposes. Views and opinions are that of our own or that of our guests.